The views and opinions expressed on What the Frick Live are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the Manifest Network or EmilyMenshouse.org. Any content provided by our bloggers or authors of their opinion are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything. There I am.
Well, hello, there you are. Ooh,
we got up close and personal here.
yep. There we are. Ghost Inspector Greg.
So anyway, I'm really quickly. I have been banned off Facebook again for doing live streams. But look at this, everybody, right now. This is a conspiracy theory going on. Manifest Network. That's my response. Hey, on Facebook. I go over to Manifest Network. I don't see it live, though.
Interesting.
It's a ghost.
It is a ghost.
It is a ghost. But I got banned off Facebook for 30 days. I couldn't go live for 30 days, restricted, because I posted, and this is the post. Oh, now I just got alerted on here. It says it can't go live on Facebook. Okay. Well, I was alerted about a post regarding the Albert Fish documentary that I watched on Amazon for 30 days. Any thoughts, Greg? Look at you sitting there like, are you?
Yeah. I mean, I've never been banned on Facebook because I don't post much on Facebook. Boy, if I ever get banned on Instagram, I'm in big trouble, huh?
Maybe, I don't know. Instagram is owned by Facebook.
Be my whole world gone if I got banned on Instagram.
I don't get it. Like, the post was absolutely fine, but I just want to say thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. I have shared this out everywhere I can possibly share it regarding YouTube. I've not ever really marketed my YouTube page, so there's not that very many followers or anything. I'm very sorry, even to our guest, Katy. She's awesome. She's going to be coming up here in a second. So please make sure you put a thumbs up, because I hear, that's what my son says, and ring that bell. I hear if you ring the bell and put a thumbs up, that puts it into the algorithm of YouTube. So really quickly, I know last week, Greg, you mentioned you're having a podcast with Miss Gwen.
Yes. Look at the smile on her face. She's just elated. So, it's looking like it's going to be called The Adventures of the Bigfoot and the Ghost podcast. So that's taken some time, and I got a lot of prep work to do on that. But at some point, we'll pop it up there and just kind of start.
You also have a co-host that is probably an introvert.
Well, that depends on how you look at it. Me and her, we have quite a conversation. So, she's actually hilarious.
I'm just going to tell you, if you have to have a Gwen voice, I'm going to volunteer. Can she be Appalachian?
Well, just just who could I pick? I don't know. Smokey Robinson with, a sweet.
I love Smokey.
that's Gwen.
Here it is.
Feminine way, Gwen. I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
I just got a green check mark. Maybe Facebook's having some funky stuff going on or something, because I just got a check mark now saying that we are live on Facebook, and then this came up. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Well, anyway, we'll see what happens after this.
Wow.
All things strange and weird, right? We just came out of a full moon, or going into one. I don't know. It's just all crazy. I've had tech issues all day, and you had tech issues, Greg. And
yeah, tech issues trying to get logged in, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good now, but
Anyway, I'm sorry, Greg. Go ahead.
No, I'm good. It's just all that
okay
messes everything up.
To follow Greg on Instagram, please go to Instagram.com/Ghost Inspector Greg. Yay. And I really feel bad saying this, but you're going to be back in September, right?
Yeah, we'll be back in September.
Okay. I'm doing a change up with what the Frick live.
Huh? But tonight will be fun. We'll just
okay. Well, he'll be back in September. I'm doing change up. I'm trying something different and just see what happens. I'm going to have alternating co-hosts for each month, and 2 people per each month. So if you're interested in being a co-host and trying to learn and see from this, even our regular viewers here want to come on, please message me and we'll see about that. But we have a really great guest on tonight. She's been on here before, and we had her lovely husband on last week, Katy Stafford. She has studied the paranormal since, I think, elementary school or something like that. She's also retired from foreign affairs in the Army. So she's super brilliant and amazing. She does a lot of profiling, but we kind of put her in the same classification as her husband, because they make all these different contraptions and equipment for us to use to investigate the paranormal activity. But she has a lot more gifts than that, and one of the gifts is dream interpretation. We're going to talk about that. So let's bring Katy onto the show right now. Hey, Katy, welcome.
Hey guys, I do have to make a correction. I did not retire from foreign affairs. My dad did. Just wanted to.
Oh, your dad did.
My dad did.
Well,
you
got connections. You got connections.
Yeah, you still got the connections. You can tell us all about it.
I use my dad for connections. I'll just say that. But
I did have to use my dad for one connection, and that was to check on KD while he was deployed to Afghanistan. So, because he was Command Sergeant Major of the Army, he retired and then went to Foreign Affairs. So, yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's great that he was able to reach out and do that, huh?
Yeah, because I hadn't spoke to KD in almost a month. And
wow.
What prompted me, because I never call my dad to like ask favors or anything, because I just don't need to do that. But, I actually got attacked by a spirit in our house in Europe. And it left, like it smacked me on my backside. And I'm not talking like the buttocks area, partially buttocks, but my lower back. And this is a point in time in my life where I wasn't researching. I was mainly trying to hold the fort down. My daughter was having a hard time, and I was in a foreign country. And so I stayed busy all the time. But I knew there was something in my house, and I just pretty much, blocked it out, ignored it. And bad idea, because I got attacked when I was doing laundry one day. I was home by myself. My daughter was at school. KD's deployed. And I thought that was my husband smacking me to get my attention, because something, I don't know, you know, sometimes you think of crazy things. Like, he was deployed, so I hadn't heard from him in a month. So I called my dad, and then my dad calls me back the next day, and he says, you should be getting an email from KD, which I did. He was fine. Something happened with his tent, or something got flooded. And I don't want to go into great detail. I'll just make it real quick and short. And as soon as I got done reading that email, all hell broke loose. I was like, oh, heck no. And then I was like, Katie's back. That's it. it took me a good 2 weeks to get whatever that was out of my house, but that was the only time I was attacked by something, and it left. It wasn't even a handprint. It was like a whelp, like this, probably about 2.5 inches, 3 inches wide down my back. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It left a welt.
Yeah, I left a whelp.
Yeah, that's a nice swat.
Yeah. Oh, I went off.
I would have gone off too, but I'm sorry, Katie. This is the first time ever, and my son's getting a little bit older.
I'm a little upset that he didn't say hi, Greg.
Jet, you need to say hi, Katie, and hi, Greg. Okay. My son just logged on. He's spending the night at my mom and dad's house, so he has his own YouTube. He's spending the night, and he says hi, Mom. Oh, Jet.
Sweet.
You need to say hi, Ghost Inspector Greg.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say hi.
That is sweet.
Hello, Jet. Okay, we love you, Jet. Don't be watching this. This is not kid friendly.
How old is he?
He's gonna be 12.
Yeah.
And the simple fact I said don't watch it, he's probably gonna watch it now.
Yeah, listen, Jet, Ghost Inspector Greg, sometimes he picks a nose. You don't want to see that. It's disgusting. So you log out.
Oh, that's a first. My kid is growing up. This is the first.
My son just turned 8 on the 23rd. So I have a 17-year-old that's about to turn 18, and then my son just turned 8. So they're almost 10 years apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So left the whelp on your back. Was that the only time you've ever was contacted like that, Katie? In that home?
Yes, I've been touched before. I've been kind of, shoved, but not to the point where it like pushed me over. But that was the first time that I've ever been attacked like that. Whatever it was really frustrated with me. Maybe that I wasn't, letting him acknowledge him. Maybe I don't know, but whatever it was very nasty. And, I'm in a foreign country, and these were old Hitler barracks. So,
wow.
Yeah. So, I was pretty shocked. I wasn't scared. I was frustrated that something that you can't see, it was more like air. I'm like, how in the hell can air do that? And I'm like, if you could do that, you little bastard, excuse my language. I mean, you can help me do this laundry. Instead, it attacked me. But I thought KD had passed away, and that was him coming back. Because weird things go on in your mind for spouses of soldiers who are deployed, even when they're not deployed, because you don't know what they're facing or what they're going through, especially in a foreign country. So thank God KD was okay and everything was fine with him. But that was the first thing that had come to mind. I just prayed. I just dropped to my knees and prayed because I thought something had happened to KD, my husband. Mm-hmm. And that thing was probably laughing at me the whole time. But that's okay because I guess he thought I was playing around. He didn't know. He didn't know what I could do. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I wouldn't mess with you. Greg, you got any follow-up on that? And we're going to go into some other gifts that you have here in a few moments, Katie. But Greg, any follow-up?
Yeah. So, when you're talking being touched and it leaving physical marks, that's pretty extreme. And though I've been touched a fair amount, I find that when they leave a mark, for me, it tends to linger for a long period of time.
Yes.
For instance, when I was smacked basically in the mouth.
What?
Well,
oh, hell no.
Yeah, but that was my doing, okay? Because I was at the Zach Bagans Haunted Museum, and I was taunting, okay, outside. Me and the other kid that was on Ghost Adventures with me, we were taunting, and he kept saying, I hope something punches me in the mouth. And he's a model, beautiful, beautiful kid. And I said, no, Marty, you need your face. Let it punch me in the mouth. And so what happened was, it wasn't so much a physical punch, but throughout the show, throughout the filming, I felt something on my mouth. And it was weird. And throughout the whole time, I kept going, what in the heck? Well, a sore developed on my upper lip. And I've never had anything like that before. And it literally took 3 to 4 months for that to go away.
And isn't it crazy how, supernatural things can happen to you? Now, I have had I say allergic reaction, but I went to Lovelock Caves, and you can't get a reception through a radio out there. And if you do, we probably want to make sure you heard it loud and clear, because it could potentially be the spirits talking. And then also I had the Ovilus, and we weren't getting anything, no EMF readings, no nothing, because you're out in the middle of nowhere in Lovelock Caves. And through the Ovilus in a box, it said eyesight, and then through the box it said will take. And I was like, ain't nobody taking my eyesight. I said, I'm already going blind. You ain't gonna take much. Next morning I woke up, I swole.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
I couldn't, the light even hurt my eyes. I couldn't drive. And we were like, 20 something hours from our house. It was horrible for 2 straight days. And,
yeah, it did it.
And I was like, it was all the guano that was, in the cave.
Yeah.
I was trying to dispute this, and Katie goes, there ain't no guano in that cave. It was just all dust. And I said, Katie, do you really think what came through trying to take my eyesight was trying to take my sight? And he's like, anything's possible. He goes, we could go back and try to dispute it. Do you think your eyes would have that same reaction again? I was like, probably not, but who knows? But, that was something else I had experienced. And that's weird that, I haven't been the only one, and you haven't been the only one. There's other people who have experienced.
And it's always very, very unusual, right?
Yeah.
It's very supernatural to an extreme when it happens, and it's funny because the Ovilus really shows up in some strange ways.
Yeah, there's Michael. He was in the caves with us. No, yeah. Hey, Michael, do you remember that? My eyes got jacked up after leaving there. I don't know if he remembers, but yeah, he filmed it. He was the film guy, and he fabulous. He's a good researcher too. We're looking for Bigfoot stuff, aliens, whatnot, everything. Name it, we was doing it.
Yeah, like I said, that Ovilus is interesting because it really shows up in places where it probably shouldn't.
Yeah, yeah.
It works in places where it probably shouldn't, and it doesn't work in places where it should sometimes. But it's a good tool. I'll put it's nothing like the Nanocom Plus, nothing like that.
He brought up the blood as well. Yeah, that was pretty messed up. Okay, yeah.
What's the blood? What happened with the blood?
Okay, so I was, Michael, can you refresh my memory? Tell me what that hotel was called that we were staying at? Because it's close to the Washoe, isn't it? In Honolulu. Yeah, and it has like a wedding venue, and it has like the silver dollars made out of a dress. Wow. So anyways, we were there, and I was doing thank God it wasn't a live TV broadcast. Good Lord.
Oh, so I would have loved it.
So I was standing there, and they were recording me. Well, it was just one journalist with the camera, and she's like, this is weird. Silver Queen. Thank you, sir. So she was recording, and all of a sudden she goes, "My batteries are dead in my camera." And I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "But I just put this new battery on here. It's my job to make, I mean, it was hooked up in my van." She says, "I'm going to have to go out to the van and get my third one." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'm going to set up some equipment and blah, blah, blah." And anywho, so she was recording and I was talking, and I was standing there and I was talking, just like I am now. And then all of a sudden, blood starts coming down my finger.
Oh, my word.
She was like, wow. What's that on your hand? And this was later, she stops and, the other, the producer was doing Facebook Live and he caught more of it on Facebook Live of my finger. And then he got off live and I told her, I said, "Do not put that in your broadcast." I said, because that you would just don't put that in there for several reasons. But anyways, yeah.
Real quick, I want to talk about dreams tonight too. But did you ever get any kind of EVP evidence or anything to back up blood or anything along those lines at that location?
So there was a prostitute. I hate to say prostitute. Trying to find a more
lady of the night.
Lady of the night had actually committed suicide in the bathtub there. They say she committed suicide, and I did look up. Her fingers were all just like cut up. I don't know.
So where were you bleeding from, and was there a sore?
I didn't even know it wasn't sore. It was just it started coming down my middle finger, just pouring and pouring and pouring.
Like the cubicle portion from there?
Yeah, roughly around that area, but it was coming up underneath my nail. You could see the blood, like I maybe have smashed it.
Huh.
That's what, because you could see the blood underneath my nail, and it wasn't. I didn't feel it or anything. And then later on that night, same thing happened to KD, but on the opposite hand.
Wow, really? That's a confirmation. That's a confirmation.
Yes, it happened to him as well when we were there.
That's crazy.
But it's not room 11. It's room 13 that's all jacked up. And that was the room I wanted to be in because that's where people have bad, vivid dreams in there. And people, I have sleep paralysis. I've had it tested and looked at. And I actually have found, I never have been attacked under sleep paralysis. Okay. That's actually been like my protection. I know it sounds weird because a lot of people say they sleep paralysis, that they are being attacked or they have been attacked. It's opposite for me. And I have a documented case of sleep paralysis. I've had it ever since I was a little girl. They, after they come out with these sleep studies, people are more able to understand sleep paralysis. But after so long of having it all your life, it doesn't bother you as much, but it does suck sitting there. You're paralyzed and your eyes are open and you're just trying to wiggle a toe or your head just to try to wake your body up because your mind is awake, but your body is asleep.
Oh, you can't move.
You can't move. Oh. It's kind of like having ALS. Yeah. Well, it's not that extreme, but anyways.
Yeah, I get quite a bit of sleep paralysis as well.
Medication can also interfere with that, by the way. So you might, if you take any type of medication, you might want to check into that because certain medications can bring on more of that sleep paralysis.
For me, I think it's work stress, overworked. But so speaking of, let's go back into sleep paralysis. Mm-hmm. And the things that happen, for instance, people feeling they're being held down. People feeling that they're not being allowed to breathe, like their mouth's being cupped, and people falling, having the falling dream.
Oh yes.
Which is a real trip. I mean, I love that one. I had surgery on.
Literally, it's a real trip.
Yeah, I had surgery on my knee, and I'm in a cast, and I literally have a falling dream. I kick that leg up, and what happens? The tendon of my big toe gets ripped out. So, yeah, that was thanks to sleep paralysis. But anyway, what do you think's going on there? What do you think's going on with sleep paralysis, with people having literally realistic encounters with whatever, almost supernatural?
Well, if you think about it, that's kind of like when you're at your most vulnerable, is when you're sleeping, and especially enemies. When I say enemy, I'm referencing maybe to something demonic. Okay, now I do believe some spirits can, take advantage of you as well. So I'm just going to call all of them enemies. All right. So basically, the enemy, you're at your most vulnerable. You're in a dream state. So you're not able to pray or whatever it is to do to protect yourself. You can't get away because you're sleeping. Can't take yourself out of the situation. So it's a perfect time to get in and start manipulating, right?
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry, Katie, go ahead.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that they're being attacked. It's whatever it is trying to brainwash them, not necessarily brainwash, but manipulate them into thinking that, they're holding them down. Now, there are some people who have documented marks and whatnot, but it could be from them, like with themselves, could have gave them marks, but we don't know. I mean, I've seen several incidences and read about it, and some of them I just can't explain, and some of them I can. But you have to learn how to wake yourself up in your dreams. Do you know what I'm talking about?
You do. And pray. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not going to go in that way. But yes, you do. Sorry. I got really excited when you said that. Nobody's ever said that on here, but I agree with you.
They don't kill you.
Well, no, the first time I learned how to first time I woke myself up in a dream, guess what I did? I jumped off a bridge because I could. It didn't hurt myself. And then I walked in the grocery store butt naked.
Hold on. Time out. That's in your dream, right?
Well, yes, I jumped off the bridge because I kept having a reoccurring dream of this guy in this little boulder hat. And this is why I learned how to wake myself up in my dreams, because I want to confront this little guy who was pretty much coming to me in my dreams. He wore a long trench coat, a boulder looking hat. He wasn't even a tall guy either. And I didn't know what he looked like. And he was irritating me because he was following me. He intimidated me. I didn't like his aura, and his energy felt very negative. So I learned how to wake myself up in my dreams. Therefore, when I did that, I said, guess what? You can't do nothing now because this is my dream, my mind, my world. So I can do whatever I want. I said, I can shoot fireballs from my hands if I want. I said, but I'm going to go jump off this bridge right here. So I did. I went and jumped off a bridge and looked up, and the guy looked at me, slammed his hands down, and he was gone after that. I'd never had a problem with him ever in my dreams again. Yeah.
Well, I have a question about dreams.
It's weird, but it's true. It happened to me.
It is true, and I know it's spirit filled or spirit led in a lot of ways because you are vulnerable, and I don't want to go to I can go to I have my own theories about it, and it does happen because that's where the enemy wants to attack you. So I get it. I understand that. So how do you know that there is a dream that you've had that is actually spirit connected, or if it's just a regular dream?
Gotcha. Okay. So how you can, in my humble opinion, and in theory, how you can tell the difference between a message and what's not a message is how it makes you feel. So how does a bad dream make you feel when you wake up? It messes with your emotions all day when you have a bad dream. Okay. Like, for instance, example, sister-in-law, wake up 2 days ago. Oh my God, I had the worst dream. These snakes were chasing us and laying eggs, blah, blah, blah. And so how do you feel? She says, I feel very anxious. It ruined her whole freaking day. People don't understand how dreams influence our emotions throughout the day. Okay. And people don't talk about this very often. Okay. And when you have a dream that it feels so real, it impacts you, right? Have you guys ever had that where you wake up and you're agitated?
Absolutely.
my thing is, I think if it's spiritually connected and you wake up like you're saying, Katie, so long, you will remember that dream for a lifetime.
Right. And it could affect your trust towards someone. If you had a bad dream about someone, let's say you had a dream that your husband was cheating on you, and it was so real that you caught them in bed with somebody in your dream. You wake up and you're pissed off at, dreams are a big part of our emotions. Now, when you know it's a message, you're not going to feel like that. Okay. You're going to feel more intrigued. You're going to want to write that down, because you're not going to have the same emotion towards that message. Like our family members can come to us in a dream. Okay. Right. And that's not going to make you feel like your day is off. You just wake up just feeling off, but you can tell the difference by how you are feeling, how your emotions are. So I know the difference between what is a message and what is not a message. And if it's something that's negative, that is not a message. Okay. It will not be negative. Okay. A message is to be given to you in a positive manner. It is something for you. It's a message saying, hey, look, this is happening in your life. You may need to look another direction, but that's when you want to pray about it, because you need to be spiritual and understand what is going on in your life and take control of that. And sometimes you have control in how you react to your problems, and you've got to be smarter than your problems. Okay,
you got to respond rather than react in a lot of ways too, right?
Wait,
yes.
wait. Hold on. What's that? I'm sorry. What? No, that wasn't a dream. You really are mounted on a wall. Okay.
Oh no! He just
don't do that to Gwen. I do want to say something really quickly, because every single time I hear people talk about dreams, I have one dream that I go back to, and it's in this home when I first bought this house. I've lived here for it's almost paid off, so 17 years. No, 14 years. I'm sorry, 14 years. And I bought this home off a pastor friend. He was my spiritual mentor, Pastor Grizzle. And he blessed me with this home. It's a blessing. So the first week I got into this house, with everything moved, all the things unboxed, all this stuff, I'm settled in. And I have a dream that I'm standing in my bedroom and I'm looking in the mirror. And I can't see me, though. I can't see myself in the mirror. But in my left side, which I hear is your spiritual side, a lot of spiritual voices come through your left. I heard that your father will see death, but your mother won't. And that can tie into the last days, because I'm a Christian, and the coming of Jesus. So, but that's the dream, and it still feels so real today. And it just felt like it happened yesterday or last night. It's not something that's like years ago. And is that something that, you think, Katie, that's more spiritual rather than just, I've held on to it.
So how does it make you feel, though? How does that affect your emotions?
It makes me feel that's the good possibility, because my dad's much older than my mother. And with end time theories that I have, and I've spoken about, I've gone live on some of these things, it kind of makes sense. There is a 12-year difference between my parents. So when I woke up from that, I didn't feel scared. I just felt like, what does it mean then? And then I thought, okay, this, as I've gotten older a little bit, but that's the one dream in my whole entire life that I keep, anytime somebody mentions a dream, that's the dream I go back to.
So here's what you could do. So if you want more understanding, you can always write down a 3 or 4 word sentence, okay, and put it under your pillow. And as you're going to sleep, You want to say that over and over and over and over and over again, okay, as you sleep. You might not get any answers the first, second, third. It could take, it's all about your intent, okay? You've got to believe in what you're saying, you've got to be able to, I'm not sure if you meditate or whatnot.
Yes, I do meditate.
Okay, so then you may find an answer, but it may not be an answer that you can understand or decipher very well. So I have found that happen to me. That's the only reason why I say that. But a lot of times I don't even want to know the answer. I just go on in God's will and just go with it. But that, unless it's a message that I need more understanding about, that's something that's not negative, it's positive. I don't need any information on anything negative, or I rebuke it. I'm not even dealing with that. But if it's something that's positive, I want to look more into that. If it's something that I can't see that's occurring in my life, because sometimes you can't see on the outside, looking in. So that is a form of, if you want to you can use your dreams to your advantage. You can use your dreams to make you feel better, help you with your emotions. There's lots of different techniques that you can use. And, just like some people prophesize that, for example, the trail derailed. And I dreamt that last night. But how did that help you to know that? Why would that help you to know that? Because you weren't able to do anything, right?
Well, why would that help you? Maybe something in the future? Maybe they need to do a lot of research behind that.
It's most likely called coincidence.
Right. So, right. So, I do believe people can prophesize, when angels may come into your dreams, but you'll know it. You'll know. But, when people say, oh yeah, I dreamt that this would happen and it happened. Well, but you couldn't tell anybody, you couldn't stop it. So I would rebuke that.
So let me, speaking of sleep paralysis, okay, I want to tell you what is an interesting sleep paralysis case that I had. Okay. And I may have talked about this before, but this is a good time to talk about this. So, years ago, when I first moved into this home, when it was brand new, this area was just hills, and they graded it and they built homes on it, and we bought one, and woo-la. And, I was building up a business at the time and working hard and being successful at it. And had a dream that a guy that looked like Gandalf the White, he basically had a white gown and a long white hair and maybe grayish, and he was standing at the edge of my bed staring at me, smiling one night. And that was interesting. It was like, whoa. And then he just vanished. And then what was weird was the next night, he's coming back. Once again, I'm awake. He's walking into my room again. And as he's walking to my room, it's the same character. He goes poof. And my 7-year-old son runs in and says, I can't sleep. And he gets into bed with me and goes to sleep. And I said, it's okay, Bubba, just sleep in here. So I thought that was really odd. And then 2 days later, I came across my brand new neighbor. And we were almost like the only ones living around here at the time. John's his name. And he comes over and he says, have you had anything weird happening lately? I said, well, what do you mean? He says, the other night, there was a man and a woman dressed in 1800s period clothing, standing over my wife. And they were looking down and just smiling at her. And I said, you know what, John, we were working hard, we're building our lives and things going crazy. I said, I think we're getting a little bit of sleep paralysis from being overworked and blah, blah, because a similar thing happened to me. He says, okay, I get that. But the only problem is Julie saw it too. His wife. So somehow or another, I still believe that there was some sort of sleep paralysis involved in that between the two. But yet we both saw people, and there were people here that were settlers in the 1800s, deep back in the 1800s, that probably could have been buried here. And probably when they graded the land, they probably disturbed their graves. I can almost guarantee that.
So you wouldn't think that they would be like your spirit guides or anything like that?
Well,
like,
I don't know why they would come in 1800s period clothing necessarily.
And then they were also, you said that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Katie.
No, go ahead. No, I mean, but the neighbors seen them too. So, but
the thing about it wasn't just John; it was his wife too that saw them standing right above her, and I still want to tie that into sleep paralysis. But the fact that they both saw the same thing, and that I had the same thing happen 2 nights in a row, and here comes my son, poof.
Well, it's 2, and 2. That's confirmation. So that's what you need to do. And you all need to compare notes, write it down, even draw their pictures out and find out who's been on that property, who's been in these locations, and find and get, deeds of homes, deeds of land, whatever you need to do, and figure out and see if any of these people look familiar.
Yeah. Well, that was 17 years ago. 16.
Does it matter?
But no, we did. I've already done a lot of that research. And there was a family called the Agajanians that owned this.
Ooh.
Agajanians?
Maybe they just want to let you know they're there.
Aborigines?
Dennis Agajanian. We talk about being Christians. Dennis Agajanian.
Dude, I gotta look this name up. I've never heard of that. Agajanian.
Yeah, he was like the Johnny Cash of Christian music. Dennis Agajanian. And he was an ancestor of these people that lived here. Anyway.
How do you spell it, Greg?
Good gosh. Agajanian.
I'm Appalachian. So, here he is. Hold on, there's a musician. Tell me, y'all. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. But I want to talk a little bit more though, because this time goes by so fast. Here in a few moments about colors in your dreams and stuff, because I dream a lot in black and white and things. But here's Dennis Agajanian.
That's him.
He's a Christian musician.
He's
still alive, isn't he?
So hang on. So he, the person standing at the end of your bed and your neighbor's bed looked like him?
Not anything close to like him, but there were several generations of that family that lived here.
Right. So, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You should contact him and be like, hey, man.
Who was the dude with the beard and the weird robe?
Dude, I'm looking him up right now on Facebook. I'm going to friend him.
He might have done some of his genealogy on Ancestry.com, and you can look at it. You can look it up and see.
How do you spell his name?
If he's related. I mean, I'm just saying.
Agaj.
Dennis Jan. Let's. He has to have a Facebook fan page. He has to have a Facebook.
You could have wrote it down.
No, I'm just copy and pasting.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I didn't mean to stop, but hold on, I'll share it again.
We'll find out about Dennis Agajanian. We'll get to the bottom. We'll get to the bottom of Dennis Agajanian. That's for dang sure.
Y'all, everybody look up Dennis and follow him. Here he is.
Yeah, right.
He's a Christian music artist, so I'll follow him here. Let me see. Maybe we should bring you. Do you want to be a guest, Greg? And let's connect with Dennis.
I'm serious. You should get on Ancestry though and see if he's done a genealogy, and
Oh boy, he's got to be an old dude right now. Anyway,
it's okay. We all get old, right? I'm 40 this year.
Yeah. So going back to that, Katie, what do you think of that? That's a pretty strange experience that they would both see the same thing.
Yes, and it could be them, like residual energy of them. I think there's different level in theory. To me, in my humble opinion, I think there's different levels of residual energy.
Sure, absolutely.
Only because I've experienced it. And it could just be maybe a time of year. Like, did it happen like a year after you moved in, or like right when you moved in? I mean, like, what was it? Fall, summer, spring?
Right. Seasons matter
was it
too.
Summer solstice? Was it the winter solstice? I mean, was it a full moon? I mean, all these things need to be taken into account. I mean, it just helps narrow things down. But regardless or not, I would definitely put it down as paranormal. I can't explain that. When I can't explain something, then it's unknown.
It's paranormal. You
I mean, I
can't.
could explain everything until they told me that she saw the same exact thing. That's when I could no longer explain it.
Right. Which is, but you didn't see a female. You said you only seen a man.
Right.
I saw another dude,
So you didn't see the woman.
No, I saw great grandpa Agajanian. They saw grandpa and grandma Agajanian.
How do you know that those are the Agajunians, though, Greg?
But he's just trying to give a name with
the Agajanians.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It's theory. Well,
So
go ahead, Katie.
I just find it interesting that they saw the two, but why was the guy like he was like a peeping Tom, man? What's wrong with him? I'm peeping Tomming on you, but
That's creepy. Okay, but hey, listen.
I've had a peeping
Tom.
Tom.
Don't go that way, all right? Knock it off.
Here's this. I've had a peeping Tom. Just beware of pizza delivery guys. Is all I have to say.
Oh,
yes.
No.
You gotta stop ordering that pizza.
I stopped ordering. I did. I had a peeping Tom, and they arrested him. And I stopped ordering or having pizza delivered. Now, COVID-19, I'm telling you, this is an anxiety I've had, and I've never told anybody really, other than I have a couple close friends. But when COVID happened, we started, or our local areas here started saying, "Hey, we'll deliver to your home." I had anxiety about it because I had some times back in my early days, in my early 20s, when and not in this home and in a house I rented, I had a peeping Tom, and it was a pizza delivery guy.
Oh, heck no.
Want me to tell you something creepy about it? I was plugging in my Christmas tree, plugged it in, and I came up, and I was eye to eye to him.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I was 22.
Yeah. You know what? I would have, I better not say anything, but you know what I would have done, though? I'm going to say it. But you could right?
I wasn't packing back then. I'm packing
would have been
now.
9mm. That's what I wanted to ask.
Oh, no, well, no. Actually, what I would do is I'd get a board and put some nails underneath the board and cover it up with some leaves of pine cone.
There you go.
And then he steps on it. Yeah. Then he'll scream, and then you know he's there.
I love you.
Now jack him up.
And then you find out it was Bigfoot. And now you have great Bigfoot evidence.
That's right.
Board of nails.
It's not
and
Gwen.
You got DNA.
It's not Gwen. It's Greg. I'm just kidding.
Right. That's messed up.
Hold on. We have the ethereal. I say it ethereal over here in Appalachian, but it's the ethereal Sisters Paranormal Beta. What's the easiest way to control your dreams?
Meditation, and also thinking of one thing as you fall asleep at night. Also, you want to focus on aligning your chakras as you sleep. So you want to start at your root chakra and work your way up to your crown chakra. There are lots of things on iTunes, whatever, for alignment of chakras. And if you have pets that sleep with you or in the room with you, there is look, where's my phone? Hold on, let me turn on live. I can't see nothing. Hang on. Where's my phone at? I could tell you who it is because she also, because my cats and dogs sleep in the same room as me. And so I found this lady that also, it helps your pets as well. I'm serious. Yeah. I love it. And it's the Veda chakras. Let's see. Well, only take me a second. I know we don't have much time. Here we go. All right. So, her name is, I'm trying to pull up the, let's pause that. I'm just trying to pull up her album so I can show it. Show album. Pause. Okay. So, it's, can you guys see who it's, Enki Benedosky. It's I'm trying to say it right, but it's this one's the heart healing meditation. But you want to do the chakra meditation for humans and animals, and it's the theta chakra. That's very important. And it's called Chakra Meditations for Humans and Animals. It's New Age. It was put out in 2010. That I always recommend that to people to start out with, because the intro talks about theta, and it's very important to be aligned with your chakras, because I have overactive chakras, and I know how to align chakras. I'm really big into chakras. Because it's important that you are in line with your body. And that helps you on a spiritual level as well. It makes you more aware of things. And that also helps with your dreams. Go ahead.
So for people that don't understand what a chakra is, can you explain that?
Yeah. So chakras are the center of your physical self. And so you have 7 chakras. Some say you have 11. Let me get my paper, wherever the heck it went. I'm actually doing like a short little book. Where did I put that at? It's right here. I started writing out this little dream type book. And I deal a lot with, so I can read runes, I can read palms, I can read tarot cards. I could do all that, but I don't do that. I'm not a psychic, and I never will say I'm not a psychic. But anyways, real quickly, the chakras are. I don't want to give you the 11 because don't want to confuse anyone. I just want to start out with the 7, and you have your crown, your third eye, your throat, your heart, your navel, your sacral, and your root chakras. So it's very important to be grounded, which is your root chakra. And anytime that you're dealing with crystals, there's some people who do Reiki, or even if you're starting to learn tarot cards, you always want to ground yourself and cleanse yourself. And before and after, you're dealing with tarot cards or stuff like that. But you want to make sure that your chakras are aligned, because that's your spiritual. It helps align everything in your body spiritually. It helps you be more aware of yourself. And it helps you make, I don't want to say it helps you make better decisions, but it makes you more aware of the things that are going on around you. And your chakras can tell a lot about yourself, like health problems. I align people, and sometimes their navel chakra, they might be having like stomach issues or liver problems, if it's in their sacral chakra. And I can tell that by the sounds of my chakra bells. And so I have been doing that for alignment of chakras for the past 4 years.
That's amazing.
For people. But chakras are very, very important. And you want to make sure that those are all aligned and in tune. And the best way to do that is meditate. Like I said, it's called Chakra Meditation for Humans and Animals. And it's InK Paranormal is her name. And it's spelled ANKE. And her last name is Banderski, BANDERSKI. That's the one you want to start out with.
Emily, are you back with us?
There was a loud explosion.
Where?
Here at my house.
From what?
It disconnected all internet. It took me several times to reconnect, and then when I said I'll be right back, I went back up because it sounded like it came out that way, and of my house, the back end of my house. So I'll go outside to see if I can see anything or see. I don't know what it was.
That's so I had that neighborhood app, okay, and this happened in my neighborhood last week, all these people reported a loud boom sound, like 6, 7 different.
Is that a dome? Do you think it's a dome? Blown up? Deep underground military base.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know. I do think it's something from the ground. To be honest with you, I don't know of any secret military.
It kind of shook my house, so that's why I was thinking it was underground. Because usually, if one of those big transfusers explode or something, it doesn't shake my house. It shook my house.
Well, it could have been.
Sorry, I'm a little nervous too about talking about it because it's.
Well, you got power. You got your power, and
power didn't go off, so that's why I'm thinking it might be ground.
Everybody reported that it came out of the ground. So, okay. But I went out with my metal detector in my yard just for shits and giggles to see if I can't find anything, you know. But in my little meter, my radiation meter, yes, animals can see your light field. That's right.
Oh, they definitely can. They see black and white too. They don't, or they're
they see your aura.
Right. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Well, so can spirits.
I hate to say this because it is 10 o'clock and time goes by so fast. Katie, you're going to have to come back on.
So
you're just going to have to because I start, unfortunately, this was the last minute thing last week. I'm really super excited. And Katie, hopefully maybe you can stay on, come back on here in a few moments because it's going to be here on my YouTube page. We're going to go live with David Oman house.
Okay, yeah.
And that's where the Masons, oh my gosh, Charles Manson murdered Sharon Tate and the Folger, Harris to the Folger industry and things like that. So we're going to start here in about 30 minutes, and we're going to have like a little 30-minute Chad Korn will be helping with me with that. In the beginning, we're going to have like a 30-minute chat, and then there's going to be 1 hour live investigation there right here on this YouTube.
Can you send me the link?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, do it.
So hey, give me just a minute of your time. Katie, I want to say thank you so much for being so gracious and coming on here 2 times in a row, almost like that. I mean, that was fantastic. And my time on What the Frick Live is coming to a close for right now.
It's not.
And I just want to say to Emily, thank you so much for having me the last few months. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, thank you.
To everybody out there that's been watching, I appreciate your time so much. I hope that you have been entertained. And finally, don't forget about the adventures of the Bigfoot and the Ghost podcast. And with all of that, okay, I appeared like a ghost and I disappeared.
Ghost Inspector. Oh, he just dropped out like that. He knows I have to go. But real quick, Katie, I have your website, Supernatural InK Paranormal.com, and then I have your Facebook. Any other places that you recommend people follow you and find out?
All you have to do is Google Supernatural InK Paranormal Technology or Supernatural InK Paranormal Technology and Development on Google, and we have a Google type web page that pops up on there. We do have a web page, but it's working, it's live, but I would prefer for people to go to the one that you provided. I believe that's the Google one.
It is the Google one. Let me pull that back up. It is.
Yeah, because that one's always kept updated. I update that all the time. The other website, I'm working on that. I
just real quickly too, because we haven't I had so many dream questions to ask you about the colors, black and white, a reoccurring dream, because I messaged it to you before we started this evening about I do have a reoccurring dream that's happened as far as I can remember. I think even as a young child.
Write a note, put it underneath your pillow.
Okay.
Or you can rebuke it.
But I think it's time for you to have a book. That's what I'm getting at.
Well, I've already published one book.
No, I'm talking about a book of dreams.
Oh yeah, I'm
and
actually. Oh no, I've already started because graphic designers, what they do is they write down. They write down everything. They put it rough draft together. Then I just go into the computer, and I'm actually hoping to get it done by the end of this week.
Wow!
Because we're going to Detroit, Michigan, with Underground Paranormal at an event at the 6th Precinct in Detroit, Michigan.
I figured that out. I wish I could go to that. That's one of the ones I wish I could have. I would have loved it.
Yeah, I wish you could go too as well. But hey, there'll be other ones, so no worries. And make sure you send me that link so I can watch.
Oh yeah, I'll send it to you here in a moment. So everybody, just here on it's youtube.com/Emily Menshouse. I probably should have been marketing this the whole 3 years I've had my show, but I've based a lot of my viewers on Facebook. But it's time to market my YouTube page and start growing that from this point of view. But Katy, thank you. I love you.
You're
and Katy so much. Like, you guys are phenomenal and amazing. And people don't understand this. I'm going to tear up. She's amazing when it comes to any kind of emotional mental abuse that you may face, because she's a profiler too, and she's dealt with a lot of therapy and counseling. And there was one night I went off the deep end. She knew I was going off the deep end.
Okay, you're gonna make me start crying now too.
And she was the only person I think was up because it was so late. But it was a blessing because, Katy, thank you. Really?
Yeah, you're very welcome. And God put me there for a reason at that moment in time, because it was very late. And I wasn't working on anything. It was very unusual for me to be up that late for no reason. So I was put there for a reason, to talk with you. And I had that thought. Yeah, sometimes people say, oh, God told me this. Well, it comes in a thought. And for some reason, as soon as I went on Facebook, there you were, popped right there. And I was listening to you. And I said, and my whole thought was, you need to talk to her. Mm-hmm. And I want you to know that everything's good. Everything's
good. Getting a lot better now. Like, I've come a long way.
Yes, you have.
But I will tell you this. I will never forget that. Like, I will never forget that, Katy. I don't care if we are 80 years old. I will never forget that, because it was a very dark night, and it dealt with my uncle committing suicide, which is very close.
Yeah.
I will never forget it. Never. Thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. And anytime, you need someone to talk to, just holler. Who do you think? So people go to speak with psychics. Who do psychics go to talk to? Me, because I'm not psychic. I'm not psychic. At all. But anytime anybody is troubling with something, I take time, because it's important. Everybody has a purpose, and we all get into those funks. We all get into these bad states, and they're out of our hands. But know that people do care about you. And, even though I've never met you in person, I care about you.
I care about you too. Love you so much.
I love you too. And I appreciate you having, me and Katy on your show. And by the way, I bought Katy that dagger. That's right.
Did he ever find it?
No.
Well, but he needs to.
I told myself, boy, I bought that for your birthday. That's right.
Best wife ever. When he can recite a gift that you've given him that's so mysterious and crazy, he needs to find it.
Yeah, he needs to find it. He has it packed up somewhere, and somewhere. I don't know, but you better find it. But you bought me lots of knives, and I'm like, I know. So
Let me know if he finds it, because we'll do a special episode of just the dagger.
Yeah, it's really heavy. It's weird. I actually found it in a box full of stuff that I have, picture frame box. Isn't that weird? And here's this dagger. I'm like, cool, present for hubby. So I held on to that.
What you should do is find it yourself, Katie, and regift it to him at Christmas.
Oh my God, dude, that's a good idea. Holy crap.
I found it for you.
That is a good, I'm like, rewrap it and stuff, recycle and be like, yo, that's your Christmas present. It's me finding the crap that you lose.
You know, I had an
aunt. Kim. Kim's on there.
Yeah, Kim's on here. I will tell you this real quick. I do have to get off here because I have people signing on to another one in like 5 minutes. But I'll just say this. Everyone in a family has that one person you buy a gift for. You know it's going to be rewrapped for someone else.
No!
But I have an aunt. She passed away May the 8th this year, Aunt Rita. And like she would forget. This is funny. She would forget, like, I can't tell you how many gifts I bought for her that after several years she would give back to me.
Oh my God. Oh.
She did like 2 or 3 times as she got older. But you know, I said, you know, I was sitting there looking at it, and I was like, you know, I think I gave this to you like 5 years ago for Christmas, and now she's giving it back to me. But we always have those people.
Well, that's why you always buy what you want.
Oh, that's true too. Yes,
just buy what you like.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's true. So, Katie, thank you. We'll have to come back on. I want to go into more details about dreams because I'm big into. You need to come back on. We'll set something up. I'll message you this week.
At any time. And good luck with your show tonight. And I'm going to be watching.
Yes, I'll send it to you here in a few moments.
Wonderful. Well, everybody have a good night. And thank you once again for having me on. And I'll see you next time.
All right. Bye, y'all.